live. That wasn't really unexpected, but it's live. It's Wednesday. There's a lot of stuff going on, and oh my gosh, I just want to bring you guys some information and things about what's going on, because there is a lot of stuff going on in the Oklahoma Bar Association case against me. So get on in here. Throw me a hello. Hit that like button. Let's make sure we match the audience and all those things. I got a lot to tell you. But I almost forgot something, so I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. So, I don't even know where to start with all the stuff that's going on. I have no idea what else going on. There's no piranhas. Those are freshwater fish that are not piranhas. I wasn't grabbing a blunt. I gave up marijuana. Didn't you see? I gave it up. So I don't have any marijuana. None at all. But I got a lot to share with you. So, if you've been following the page, you are aware of the story of Drunk Judge Holmes. Everybody aware of Drunk Judge Holmes? Well, let me just tell you. Drunk Judge Holmes and I interacted some time ago when I was leaving a court case, and her bailiff was yelling at some reporters in a hallway that I defended, and I stood up and defended themselves. No, the Bar Association did not give me my license back. Heck no. There's a lot of stuff about that we're going to jump into here in just a second. But Drunk Judge Holmes filed a bar complaint against me for telling her to go back to the bar in the public hallway of a public building. Everybody knows about that, right? So I filed a judicial complaint against her, and that has been working through, and I have been pressing about it for quite some time. As you know, the Oklahoma Bar Association has suspended me for, among other things, all of which are really free speech stuff, exposing drunk Judge Sharon Holmes. That's what they've done. So I'm suspended for exposing drunk Judge Sharon Holmes' behavior by engaging in First Amendment protected activity under the United States Constitution. Okay. So you would think, since they've suspended me for exposing her, they would do something about it. Somebody says, give us the short version. There is no short version. I'm sorry. There's a long version. The short version of Holmes is this. The Oklahoma Council on Judicial Complaints investigated the complaint against drunk Judge Holmes, interviewed witnesses that I gave them, looked at the video, did all of that stuff. They found reason to send the complaint on to the Oklahoma Supreme Court. The procedure says that the Oklahoma Supreme Court has 90 days to consider the matter and take action. Well, I'm here to tell you that after spending the full 90 days, Chief Justice John M. Kane took action against drunk Judge Holmes and Judge Kirk Glasgow, who solicited bribes from me and other attorneys and accepted those bribes. I didn't bribe him. I told him to go F himself, and I filed a complaint against him. Well, I received this letter from, you can look at it, get a good shot. It's got the Chief Justice's phone number and stuff on there. I want to make sure you can see that. Let's see. Everybody getting that? Just in case. There you go. Phone number 405-556-9368. Signed in Sharpie by the Chief Justice of the Oklahoma Supreme Court. Let me get my fingers out of the way, because I want you to be able to take a screenshot of this so you can know exactly what I'm saying is true. Here's what it says. Mr. Durbin. Now, the grammatical issue in this two-sentence letter is not mine. It's them. Their subject-verb disagreement is them, not me. So, two sentences. Here they are. Mr. Durbin, Please be advised that the matters set forth in your judicial complaints have been addressed. I have also notified the counsel on judicial complaints that the matters has been addressed. Matters has been. Subject verb disagreement. I have notified the counsel on judicial complaints that the matters has been addressed. They did nothing. They did nothing about drunk Judge Holmes. Nada, zero, zip. Nothing. Yeah, have. That's exactly right. Nothing. They did zip for drunk driving with minor children on repeated occasions. That's what they did. Well, on Monday, I notified the Oklahoma Bar Association, Oklahoma Supreme Court, and the members of the trial panel trying me in absentia because they won't let me have internet access. They won't let me bring in any electronic devices like a cell phone or anything to communicate with people. And they set hearing dates on dates that I told them I could not be there. So they've been trying me in absentia. And so I told them, fine, you call your witnesses. I don't need to cross-examine them. I'll call them when it's my turn. Well, yesterday, after I notified them Monday of this federal lawsuit that I was filing, they suddenly ended their case today. Or yesterday, excuse me. The OBA suddenly surrendered their case, or settled their, or resolved, not resolved, they rested their case. And the trial panel is now refusing to allow me to call even myself as a witness. They said if I wanted to call myself as a witness, I should have been there every day, which is not required in any way, shape, or form, but that's what happened. So I'm not allowed to call witnesses. I'm not allowed to call any witnesses, even myself, to rebut anything. Why did they do that? Because they're trying to avoid any accountability. But it gets better. I got an order today that notifies me that the Oklahoma Supreme Court filed a motion, or not the Oklahoma Supreme Court, the Oklahoma Bar Association filed a motion seeking to file documents called under seal, which means they don't want them to be publicly exposed. Again, this is a public hearing about me. All about me, and they want to hide everything. Why? It's about me. If anybody has something to hide, it would be me. I have nothing to hide. And yet everything that they're doing, from banning cameras, from banning the public, from doing all these other things that they've done, they want to hide something. Why? Why? Again, if there was somebody that had something to hide, it should be me, the one on trial. I want it public because I want it all to see the light of day, but they don't want it to see the light of day because they know what they're doing is wrong. So the Oklahoma Bar Association, according to the order I got, filed a motion to seal these records. Well, the court, the trial panel, granted their request to seal these documents. Folks, the Oklahoma Bar Association hasn't even filed such a motion. Doesn't exist. I just checked the court document, the court docket. There's no motion. So they granted a motion that does not exist and ordered these records sealed without providing me any opportunity to respond to the motion to seal the documents. That's not how the law works, folks. But in their mind, they can do whatever in the world they want because they're the judge, the jury, and the executioner. So I emailed and said, send me the documents you filed under seal. I just got a response from Brian Dixon, the trial panel member, that says, if I want the documents that's filed under seal, I need to file a motion and propose a protective order. I don't even know what the documents are. How would I know how to protect information contained in documents that I don't even know what documents were filed? And the absurdity is mind-boggling. And mind-boggling. Why did they do it? Well, because they're pissed off that I'm suing them. And by the way, there's 440 of you in here and 133 likes. Do me a favor, and Alexa, stop. Do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you want to throw a super chat or something, I've already spent $300 and something a day just in printing costs. People keep saying short and sweet. There is no short and sweet here. This is a live. If you want short and sweet, go somewhere else. That's an edited video, and this is not edited. I'm speaking from the mind. Somebody says piss on my likes. Well, good to see you. Somebody do me a favor and ban that person, would you? Where are my moderators at? Anyway, it's all because I'm suing them. So they're trying to do everything that they can to silence me. Well, I'm filing a lawsuit against the Oklahoma Supreme Court, against the Oklahoma Bar Association, against 67 different people and entities. That's just on that side, these first 3 pages, that's just names of defendants. Thank you, New York Turtle. $5. $5 make you holler. $10. There's a funny movie that's mentioned. Anyway, we're filing a federal lawsuit in the Northern District of Oklahoma. Now, I hadn't turned it sideways yet because if there's 67 plaintiffs, you wonder how many pages. And the last I left you, I told you that I was at like 120 something, right? Page 120. Well, I went a little further than that. This right here is the lawsuit. This is just the petition or complaint, it's federal court. This is just the complaint. That is all allegations and pleadings against these idiots, including the moron Gina Hendricks, Brian Dixon, all the scumbags at the Oklahoma Bar Association. This is 300. What the heck? That's another motion. Sorry, I got the application in there too, so it's not quite that thick. I don't want to misrepresent to you. It's not quite that thick. There's a few extra pages in there. It's been an adventure filing this thing today. Here we go. That's the last page. Page 321. 321 pages of allegations arguing that the Oklahoma Bar Association should be dissolved, that its mere existence and the requirement that I have to associate with them to practice law in the state of Oklahoma violates my rights to freedom of association. I should have made it 420. Look, 300. This is, folks. Normally lawsuits are not very long. This has 2,654 numbered pages. All against the Oklahoma Bar Association, Oklahoma Supreme Court, and other idiots that are out there doing stupid things. So we're going to hold them accountable. Now, I missed the filing deadline today by 10 minutes. Court clerk in the federal courts closed it at freaking 4:30, and we were there at 4:42. So we're trying to do away with the entire Oklahoma Bar Association. And additionally, if you're in Oklahoma, I want you to know that I'm suing for a few other things. In Oklahoma, they allow a 7% excise tax on marijuana. I'm suing to stop that. Taxation without representation, special law in the state of Oklahoma. I'm suing to end the state's contract in Oklahoma with a company called Metric, which is a monopolistic, unlawful contract. I'm suing to stop that. There's a requirement that Oklahoma companies in Oklahoma buy these bonds to protect their property in the state if they're a marijuana business. These bonds are unconstitutional. The law was unlawfully adopted. I'm suing to stop that too. I'm suing to stop the residency requirements that they're using. I am suing to stop the fees that the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics and Dangerous Drugs upped their fees to from $500 to $2,000. Everything that the state has done since June 26th, 2018 to go after State Question 788 that I've been fighting for how many ever years it's added up to now, well, I added it all. Because it all arises, and the bar trying to take my license, all arises out of my efforts to stop that behavior by the state of Oklahoma. They don't like the fact that I sit on my Facebook Lives or YouTube Lives and call out government corruption. They don't like that I say they're a bunch of scumbags. They don't like that I support, deny, defend, depose guy. They don't like any of that stuff. All of it violates my civil rights. So here it is. Going to federal court tomorrow. Now, Lee is in the process of, he's already registered it, but we have a new website called fucktheoba.com, F-U-C-K, theoba.com. On that, in the morning after we file this, we will be posting this and all of the exhibits. Now, I got to tell you that this is the petition, 320 whatever pages. The exhibits to the petition are more than 1,000 pages. More than 1,000 pages of exhibits. See, they effed with the wrong guy. They effed with the guy that actually can do this job pretty well. And now I don't have anything else better to do than to fight back. And you all have encouraged me to do that. You said, don't give up your license. Fight for it, get it back, and don't resign. And I was watching an interesting documentary the other day on Winston Churchill, of all people. Robert Snell, thank you so much. $49.99. That's really appreciated. I got to spend a lot of money with the process server, serving 67 people. Shout out to Lori Hamilton. Thank you so much. She's going to be going around with me tomorrow to sue. The website is not live yet. I told you the website is not live yet. It'll be live tomorrow. Lee is literally working on that right now. Fucktheoba.com. It's coming. You all, my intention was to win and surrender my license back after I won. And watching the documentary and thinking about things and going through it, y'all are right, and Churchill was right. Resist everything. I am going to fight every single iota of it all forever. The documentary on Churchill's on Netflix. It was a 3-part one. It's amazing. Oh my gosh, it's good. It's about Churchill during World War II. It's awesome. It's on Netflix. Check it out. But I'm not going to surrender. I don't care that I don't want to practice law. They're going to have to pry this license from my cold, dead hands. And once they do, because they're going to disbar me, they're going to have to get a federal court all the way through to the United States Supreme Court to agree with them. Because I'm going all the way. Somebody needs to ban somebody. Yeah, y'all ban whatever. Like it's probably Jerry Eubanks or somebody from the Bar Association or one of the 67 people that knows I'm suing them. Because I'm suing some. Look, every scumbag that's libeled or slandered me and thought that since the Bar Association was taking my license that they could get away with free shots against me. I told you. No free rides. There's no such thing as a free lunch. And their free ride is over. And I didn't sue them in state court. I'm suing them in federal courts. All of these folks, all of these stupid people, these whiskey tango pieces of crap, I'm suing them all in federal court. So why am I live right now? Well, I was 12 minutes late to filing today. Anthony is included, absolutely. Anthony Smith. Yep, he's on here somewhere. Yep, right there, bottom of that page. Anthony Smith, right there. Carrie Lawrence, Wally Lawrence, John Frazier, Chronic Docs, Honeycomb Holding Investments, Inc., Heather Kirk Collins, Chad Collins, all of them. The people that stole money from me, tens of thousands of dollars that they stole from me. Suing them. Somebody says because I'm sober and bored. I'm not bored. I am sober completely, which is interesting. I've been sober like from alcohol since October of last year. The meds and shit, can't drink it. But I'm here today to tell you about this, to tell you about what's coming up in the next couple of days, and I got to do something. I was going to file this today without doing this and without showing you, but when the Oklahoma Bar Association filed their case against me, the day they filed their case against me, I knew that I would get suspended and be disbarred. I knew it because, again, judge, jury, executioner. Oklahoma is one of the few states that not only do they decide, they get to prosecute me and decide whether I should stay in. Fair? Does that sound fair? But anyway, the day they suspended me, or not the day they suspended me, but the day they filed, I knew I was going to go broke. And I always wanted to have a nice pen. And I didn't have one. So I went to the store on that day and I bought myself a Mont Blanc pen. I've always wanted one. And it has been sitting in this box waiting. Sorry again. Anyway, it's a pen that's in the box. I bought this nice pen, and it's been sitting here in this box waiting for today. So you're here with me to unbox it. Let's unbox it. And I have it, and I bought it, and I decided I was not going to use it until the day I fought back. So it has been sitting in this box waiting for right now because I'm fighting back. And in doing so, we're unboxing. You can see the instructions and all that stuff. But anyway, one of my favorite colors in the world is Tiffany blue. So that's what I bought. I bought myself a Mont Blanc Tiffany blue pen. What I do with the telephone book, it's right here. Telephone book's right here. Last page is right here. And I've been saving this pen for today to sign this lawsuit. Probably should have got my ink a little bit. The ink's dried out. Ah! So, I got to use my Mont Blanc pen and sign my federal lawsuit with my new pen. And now I guess I get to use my new pen. And yeah, it's not writing very well. I let the ink sit in there too long. It's been sitting in there for about 8 months, 9 months, 10 months. I don't even know how long. Maybe I just don't know how to use. Oh, you know what it is? These nice pens, you got to use them a certain way. But there you go. Getting to use my pen to file the federal lawsuit. Now, in addition to that, I don't have to notarize it. In addition to that, I am filing an application for emergency injunctive relief. That's over there, already written. It's 42 pages of a legal brief. And it's getting filed tomorrow as well. So 300 and something pages of petition, 1,000 plus pages of exhibits, a 40 something page application for injunctive relief, and we're getting it all filed tomorrow. Would have been filed today, but again, 12 minutes late. So, what's the next steps? Well, next steps are tomorrow, I'll be coming to you live all day, starting at 9 o'clock in the morning. At 9 o'clock in the morning, actually, I'll be at the federal courthouse, the Northern District of Oklahoma Federal Courthouse at 8:30 in the morning when they open. And we're going to be filing this in the morning. And I'm meeting my process server at the federal courthouse. Lori is meeting me at the courthouse. And we're going to go around and serve everybody that is named in this lawsuit. That's what we're going to do. And I'm asking for an emergency hearing, and I'm asking for emergency injunctive relief. And again, I'm not just asking for my license back. I am asking the court to hold, as the Fifth Circuit did in Texas, and the Fifth Circuit held in Louisiana. I'm asking the 10th Circuit to disband the Oklahoma Bar Association entirely. And folks, there is no guarantee in court. There is no guarantee in court. But I feel pretty good about the briefs and the legal positions. I believe I'm dead on balls, accurate, right. They deprived me of my license without a hearing. You can't even do that to somebody for a driver's license. You have the right under due process to a pre-deprivation hearing before a government can take your driver's license. I didn't get a hearing before they took my bar license that took me a lot longer and a lot more work to get than a daggum driver's license. So I'm suing to stop all of that, to destroy all of that. They didn't let in a guy because he was a city councilor in Tulsa, and they didn't like his political speech. And the decision not letting him in lays out that they don't agree with his political speech. So I've also sued them for that and said that is improper. And as a member, still a member of the association, their actions have denied me the ability to associate with that gentleman who should be an attorney. Instead, they're making him wait 2 years before he can reapply. Well, screw that. It's just wrong. They've got the deny, defend, depose attitude going on over there, and it's time for that all to stop. There is a dome of oppression sitting over this country, and the government abuses its citizens and oppresses them in every way that they possibly can. And there is zero accountability. Between qualified immunity, Terry v. Ohio, and all the other litany of cases that have over time squandered our rights under the United States Constitution, we are oppressed in this country, and we are owned by the corporations. They buy the politicians and control everything that happens. And we as citizens are under their thumb being oppressed every day. And if you stand up and say no more, this is what happens to you. You get suspended. I'm suspended for cussing out government and leaving a note for the governor at his office that says, fuck you. I'm sorry. I have the right to tell the governor of the state of Oklahoma to go F himself. And just because I'm a lawyer doesn't mean that I gave up my constitutional right. When I swore an oath, there was nothing in that oath that said, you're going to be a lawyer, but I'm also willing to give up my First Amendment rights to freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of press, and all the other wonderful portions of the United States Constitution. I didn't agree to that. And it's time to fight back. All of us. It is time to fight back. We have a date with destiny, I believe. And I was put on this earth and went through the things that I've gone through, from abuse as a child to this, to teach me the things that I need to do to fight back. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to fight everywhere. I'm going to fight in the courtroom. I'm going to fight in the streets. I'm going to fight in the capitals. I'm going to fight in the bars. I'm going to fight no matter where I'm at. I'm going to fight for our rights to be free from bureaucratic oppression. It's too much. It's too much. There's only so much that people can take. Look at the United Healthcare situation. At some point, we've got to say, there shall be no more. I'm here today saying there shall be no more without response. We are going to fight this everywhere we can. Thank you, Emily, so much. It's going to be hard. And quite frankly, I have felt like I've been in the wilderness since I've been suspended. It has hurt so much knowing that I worked so hard to become a lawyer, that they could just take it away without any hearing and over conduct that is absolutely allowed under the United States Constitution. It's been tough. Well, I'm not in the wilderness anymore. I've made it out of the forest, and I can see clearly now the path forward. I'm not dependent on them for anything. I'm not going to let them do anything anymore that oppresses my rights. And interestingly, as I told you, after I told them about this lawsuit and asked them if they would accept service, not only did they suddenly end their trial of me to allow me to call no witnesses, including myself, they did that. I'll show you the documents. We'll put those up on the website. But in addition to doing that, the general counsel for the Oklahoma Bar Association accidentally hit reply all to my email. And in her email, which she only meant to go to the people trying me. So in other words, it'd be like the prosecutor talking to the judges. That's what's happening here. She's talking to the judges about avoiding service on my lawsuit. And that they don't have to open the doors and they don't have to accept any of this stuff. She hit reply all, folks. And sent it to me too. It's one of the best emails I've ever gotten. It's not often that a moron on the other side, and it's happened more than once, but it's not often that they will just give you the smoking gun that says, hey, you've been accusing us of colluding with one another. Let me just give you this email to show that you were colluding. That's what they did. So how did I respond? I said, hey, fine. My offer to let you accept service is done. I want to serve you all personally. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to go knocking on their door. And I want to remind you that part of the reason why I'm suspended, because these are all right, well, that's not my fault. Y'all saw me. I was not touching my phone. I don't know what happened. That's Siri in the listening for you. Sorry about that. Anyway, kind of lost my train of thought there trying to get you guys back. Heck, I completely lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. So if you read the Oklahoma Bar Association's complaint against me, and it's in the 1,000+ pages of exhibits that I'll put on the fucktheoba.com tomorrow. Lee'll be putting it on there. So you'll be able to read all this stuff. I have nothing to hide, as I said. They're the ones that are hiding everything. They and part of their complaints, there's two complaints. One is that the director of the Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority, Kelly Williams, had her husband answer the door when I sued the Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority and tell the process server that she wasn't home, that she stayed at a friend's house last night. Well, my process server's not a moron, and so she stuck around down the street and filmed Kelly Williams walking out of her house right after that and getting in her car. And she went up and got her served. Well, I'm sorry, but I took the video from the body camera that she was wearing and I published it to show the world that a director of a state agency is trying to avoid service for the state agency. And just so you know, I reached out and asked them to accept service at their offices of the Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority, and they refused. So they forced me to have to serve the director with a process server. They tried to hide service, and when we caught her lying, they filed a complaint against me for publishing that video, showing her to be an idiot. Now, she lost her job not long right after that, so you're welcome, Kelly. Another attorney, an attorney for Metric LLC, who's an attorney, he refused to accept service for Metric at his offices, at his law offices. A process server went there, he snuck out the back and ran. No joke. No joke. Snuck out the back. Jack Mattingly is his name. I sued him too for libel and slander. Tortious interference with business relations. All kinds of other stuff. So he leaves at the back of his law office. Well, my process server asked, well, what do I do, Ron? I said, serve him at home. So they did. And they caught him outside in his beautiful red bathrobe. And I published a picture of him outside in public in his beautiful red bathrobe while my process server served him. Apparently, according to the Bar Association, that is conduct unbecoming a lawyer, and I should be disbarred for it. I personally think the lawyer avoiding service should be disbarred for avoiding service, but apparently you can't post a picture. You can drink and drive as a judge. Just look at John Kane's letter saying that he's addressed the matters by doing nothing. But yeah, so the Bar Association's general counsel hit reply all and accidentally told me that they were avoiding service. Well, I've got the email, and I attached it to these pleadings to show the Supreme Court, the federal courts, what's going on, because our Oklahoma Supreme Court's in on all this stuff. They're just as corrupt as anybody, which I'm also suspended for saying. And I'm suspended for saying that the Bar Association is corrupt, and that the general counsel for the Bar Association is corrupt, and that drunk Judge Pretty is corrupt. Not drunk Judge Pretty, that Judge Pretty Corrupt is corrupt for destroying court orders, or that Judge Cantrell is a racist who made racist comments to me, and I'm the bad guy here. I didn't make racist comments about my clients. That's the problem with some of these morons. They think that just because I'm white, they can make fun of and make racial comments around me. I'm not racist. And I'll call your ass on it. And so that's what he did. I did that. And the man had to recuse from every case that I'm involved in. And did so after I took him up to the Oklahoma Supreme Court for being a racist. He's still practicing. He's still a judge. Folks, the time for half measures are over. I may not have it in me, and the law doesn't allow purge nights, but I can sure as heck sue people. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get this filed tomorrow. Friday, our friend Jerry Eubanks from Pawhuska has court in Major County. If you saw that, he stole. If you're following along that story and you missed it, the other day, Jerry got 5 years of probation and used his $25,000 from the city of Pawhuska to pay restitution for the equipment that he stole and sold to somebody else. You saw the video. You saw the wife flip me off. You saw that big smirk on Jerry's face. Well, he's got court again in another county for stealing from them. And I'm going to be there. Tomorrow I'm going to be serving this. And Friday, I'm going to be back on the Jerry trail. It's been a hell of a few months. A hell of a few months. Not in a good way. It's been tough. This whole thing has been tough. I had a successful law firm making great money. And that's not what I'm upset about. Screw the money. Money will come. Money will go. But every one of my enemies, every one of these scumbags, the first thing they say is, well, who's suspended? I hate the fact that they have this BS ammunition and I can't publicly fight every aspect of those claims. That is an absolute travesty of justice. And it's something that I aim to correct. Now, I will bring you live all day tomorrow after I file the case in federal court. Because while I was 12 minutes late and the court clerk closes at 4:30, the building was open. And I learned something today. When I walked in there, the security demanded my identification. And they demanded an ID to gain access to the building. I asked them, don't you think that's a violation of my Fourth Amendment rights? I didn't commit a crime. You don't have the right to ID me. And they said if I want to get in the building, I got to give my identification. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to go, and you cannot bring any kind of recording devices or even a cell phone into the federal courts here. So in the morning at 9:30, I'm going to go and I'm going to file this case. I'm going to comply with their stupid rule to give them my ID. It's not like they don't know who I am when I file this anyway. And I'm going to do that. But I got to tell you, I've already briefed a lot of the issues that I'm talking about with relation to search and seizure and those kind of things in this. So I'm going to file that. Somebody says spy glasses. I did get some, and I got to go pick them up. I got the MetaQuest 2s, and I got prescription lenses put in them, so they can't ever take them from me. So I've got them. I got to pick them up tomorrow from Dr. Zellner's. Hello, Dr. Z. Robert's a good guy. We're going to pick those up tomorrow. So I've got spy glasses now. I'll have them tomorrow. Thanks to the wife. She bought them for me. They were expensive. But we're going to have those moving forward. I also received an offer from a television producer in Oklahoma City to start helping us with all this stuff. So that's awesome. And the guys that were over in K County last week are going to be there on Friday to help me with Jerry. So I've got a keychain recorder too. I do. Yeah, I've got one. I got lots of little tiny devices. I got a pen recorder. I got all kinds of stuff. I got all that, but I can't bring a live at the federal courthouse. No way to do that. So I'm going to be there tomorrow. I'm going to file. And the minute I walk out, I'm going to go live so you all can watch me go around and serve all this stuff. So stay tuned. That's what's going on. And I want to end with this before I'm going to go. Folks, I've never put this much time into anything other than I represented Dish Network one time in a case involving their failure to pay employees. And I worked for a big law firm downtown Tulsa. And we were defending them for not paying their employees. I hated that. God, I hated that. I don't like corporations like that. Anyway, I worked on that case for 2 weeks, probably 15 hours a day to prepare a motion for summary judgment on the El Paso and some of the other call centers that they had, arguing that the actions of having to go from the parking lots into the building and other things that they had to do, including NT login and some of this other stuff, did not constitute donning and doffing under federal rules requiring compensation for the employees. And I won. We got summary judgment, saved them millions of freaking dollars. I didn't normally see billing from the law firm. But I did in that case. After the fact, I saw the bill. There's a lot of things that were making me feel uncomfortable about that law firm. Moyers, Martin, Santee, and Immel was the name of it. Made me feeling uncomfortable. So I looked at a bill. And when I looked at the bill, what I realized was that the attorney Terry Cole Morgan, who was the one hearing that and handling that matter, he changed the time entries from me, who was an associate that they were billing out at $175 an hour, to him as a partner billing $450 an hour. So they took my work, my time, my writing, and passed it off as if the partner wrote it. Well, I can assure you that that man could never write as well as me. I get why he wanted to take credit for it. It was some damn good work, as it usually is. And that disgusted me. That made me have one foot out the door, and the second foot went out the door from that firm, and I left that firm when I was asked on behalf of Oral Roberts University to brief how they could get access to their students' psychological and medical records at their own clinic, because they wanted to see who was acting in morally improper ways. And I was asked to show them how they could do that and gain access to their students' private medical information for the purposes of then punishing them for any conduct that violated the student code. Like, holy crap. That's not a joke. Oral Roberts University. That's what they wanted to do. I told them I wouldn't do it. I told them I will not do that. And the next day I went in there and said, I'm going to be leaving. And I left. Started my own firm. Yep. That would violate the AD. Well, you know, the fact that anybody would even ask to look at that stuff kind of has to go, holy crap. But where there's a will, there's a way around things, folks, if you hadn't figured that out. And I refuse to be a participant in, first of all, I don't like Oral Roberts University and religious nut jobs like that. And I certainly wasn't going to help them gain access to students' information so they could punish them. So I quit there. Started my own firm. Best decision I ever made. Best decision I ever made. That said, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of all of the abuses that the current legal system allows us to be inflicted, or allows to be inflicted upon us, I should say. That stops. It stops now. And every day, I am going to continue to fight, and I am never, ever, ever going to give up. Ever. Before I leave you, in case you're in Oklahoma and you care, I will read you the names of the plaintiffs. It's 60-something, so bear with me. Not the plaintiffs, the defendants. Oklahoma Bar Association, Oklahoma Supreme Court, Oklahoma Board of Bar Examiners, Oklahoma Professional Responsibility Commission, Oklahoma Professional Responsibility Tribunal. Because, yeah, one commission isn't enough. We got to have a commission and a tribunal. Because, you know, Lane, and these are these are members on the trial panel that are violating my civil rights. I'm suing them too. Lane Neal, Brian Dixon, Stan McCabe, Greg Mashburn, Gina Hendricks, the General Counsel of the Oklahoma Bar Association, Les Arnold, my stalker and their investigator that shows up at every hearing I go to, Lorraine Faribault in the General Counsel's office. I hired a lawyer to represent me. She does a lot of stuff. I hired a lawyer to represent me early on, and she colluded with them, with the Bar Association. So I sued her too. Sheila Nafee. Sheila J. Nafee, Attorney at Law, PLLC. 14th Judicial District. That's Tulsa. State of Oklahoma. Sharon Holmes. Remember that protective order she got against me? All those false allegations, the deprivation of my right to bear arms and other things that happened as a result of her working with Judge Radford to get that protective order? Suing her. Remember the bailiff that posted things like I'm racist and said she was going to do everything to harm my reputation? Remember that bailiff, Morgan Williams? Sued her too. The judge who granted Judge Sharon Holmes that protective order, Loretta Radford, sued her too. One of the people, another woman who filed a protective order against me for saying that her state questions and the things that she was doing on a political issue were improper. One where we went to a trial and she lost. Maria Teresa Teran Gross Nicholas, suing her too. Told you, no free passes. City of Tulsa, where the security guard put his hands on me, suing them. The mayor, former mayor of City of Tulsa, G.T. Bynum, his chief of staff, Blake Ewing, employee Mark Hogan of the City of Tulsa, Universal Protection Service LP that owns the company that employed that guy who put his hands on me, that security guard Testerman, suing him. Richard Lee Testerman IV, suing him. Security guard Martinez, suing you. Security guard Granger, suing you. Tulsa City Councilor Vanessa Hall Harper, suing you. Councilor Lori Dector Wright, suing you. Laura Bellis, City Councilor, suing you. Dana Malone, the ugliest woman I've seen in a very long time, a troll that has libeled and slandered me, filed a bar complaint against me for saying that her state questions 806 and 807 were terrible, suing you. The lawyer you work for that put you up to it all, Isaiah Bridey, suing you. Isaiah Bridey and Associates, PLLC, suing you. Tulsa County Sheriff's Department, they put me on the ground when I tried to turn myself in, threw me on the ground. I'm in trouble for that. The bar brought and said that, because of these charges, like the assault and battery on the security guard, it's all arising out of this stuff. So suing the Tulsa County Sheriff's Department, the deputies, John Carr, Jason Teeter, John Boatman, James Collins, suing y'all. The Tulsa County District Attorney's Office that's maliciously prosecuting me despite knowing that I didn't do anything wrong and only prosecuting me because I have made fun of Steve Kunzweiler. It's Kunzweiler. But Steve Kunzweiler for years and raised money for his political opponents, suing him too. Tulsa County Court Clerk Don Newberry, suing them. My ex-brother-in-law, who filed a bar complaint against me because my ex-wife broke into my house and they drove by my house all the time and were stalking me, so I sued them for stalking me. They filed a bar complaint against me for suing them for stalking them. So I dismissed in state court and filed in federal court. Christine Jelsing Durbin, my ex-wife, who broke into my iMessages and hacked my passwords and got iMessages off my phone to my lawyer, suing her too. Leanne Crane and Richard Crane, the next door neighbors that broke into my house and stole my daughter's Tiffany necklace because my ex-wife asked them to, suing them too. Judge Tracy Pretty, that destroyed records, suing them. Anthony Brixey, Joseph Lance, TJB Restricted Holdings, represented them, refused to pay me. Anthony Brixey filed a bar complaint against me. Doesn't really make sense, but I'm suing them because it's libel. He lied. The Oklahoma County District Attorney, by the way, if you saw the video where me, James, Freeman and Josh went to the Oklahoma City County District Attorney's Office to report that the filings they were filing and the court clerk had people's social security numbers and stuff on it, where they let us into the thing. They filed a bar complaint against me. It's part of all this mess. Y'all remember that? Well, she filed a bar complaint against me containing false information, libel, slander, defamation, deprivation of my First Amendment rights, suing them too. Taylor Burke, the lawyer bud of Judge Glasgow that filed a bar complaint against me because I made fun of him at a press conference for not writing coherent sentences, suing them. The former law firm he worked for, Barber and Bartz, suing them. Jack Mattingly, attorney for Metric LLC, suing them. Metric LLC, yep. Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority, absolutely. Emerald X LLC doing business as MJ BizCon. Y'all remember when I had the website that said screwmetric.com and Jack Mattingly filed a bar complaint against me saying that was improper? That's what he filed one for, saying that that all was improper. And they called MJ BizCon and got me kicked out of my booth that I'd bought there. So I sued them too. And if you remember, MJ Biscon kicked me out and the security guards kicked me out. So I'm suing them too for violation of my civil rights and breach of contract. Michael Mitchelson, the administrative law judge that denied so many people of their civil rights and did not give them hearings, the ones that I had to fight for, that resulted in me doing the things like, wearing a Gucci belt to a hearing that apparently the bar thinks was improper. Suing that scumbag too. Adria Berry, current director of the OMMA, got you too. Cassidy Thompson, the lady I told there's no crying in baseball after hearing that she was trying to take my client's license from, and I kicked the crap out of her and made her look like an idiot, and she was bawling her eyes out. She filed a bar complaint against me too. Suing her. Doug Pewitt, district attorney, Delaware County, called my clients scumbags. So I posted on my Facebook page a picture of him and said, "No, Doug, you're a scumbag." He filed a bar complaint against me, and that's part of the reason why they've taken my license. So I file one back and says, "Hey, here's the people that heard Doug say in court that my clients are scumbags. So if me posting that he's a scumbag is improper and you're going to investigate and punish me, well, here's a bar complaint. Here's some witnesses that say he said this in court." And what was the bar's response? "No, we're not going to do anything against old Dougie." Well, Doug, what comes around goes around. Suing your ass too. Sheila Stinson, the judge that wouldn't let people bring their cell phones in because the Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority and their attorneys had colluded with the judge. Suing you, Judge Stinson. The 7th Judicial District that she works for, suing them too. Vojislav Hristov, suing that guy. He hired me to represent the grower that he got arrested by getting a fraudulent license, committing all kinds of crimes. Oh my God, he's charged with all kinds of felonies. Well, I'm suing him because after he paid for his grower to be defended, and I told him I couldn't represent him, he demanded his money back. And I told him, "Nope, already earned it. Been representing your grower." Well, he filed a bar complaint against me. I'm suing you, Vojislav. And Magicon Communications, INSP LLC, Cox Radio, doing business as KRMG, Cox Media LLC, and Fox 23, they posted news articles and television broadcasts that says I've been convicted of crimes. And I got to remind everybody that the 3 misdemeanors I'm charged with, resisting arrest, no, hang on, let's start with assault and battery, resisting arrest, and disturbing the peace. I've not been convicted of a dadgum thing. They said I was. They retracted it, but they libeled me already and slandered me. I'm suing them. Oklahoma Attorney Mutual Insurance Company that's failed to provide me the representation that they need. An insurance company not giving me the rights under the insurance contract, suing them. Daniel Higginbottom. If you saw the video in Oklahoma City where I was at the Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority and the state fire marshal had locked everybody out, and I end up in handcuffs in the back of his car so he can run an ID check. By the way, I'm in trouble for that action too, right? I got in trouble for getting my civil rights. I'm in trouble for my civil rights being violated. Love that. I'm suing them. Oh, and the Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority and Adria Berry, I'm also suing y'all for denying the public access to your restrooms. Remember that little violation of the Americans with Disability Act, little stunt you did? Yeah, I included all that in here too. It's 300 and something pages. I covered it all. Alan Beatty. Oh, that's not Higginbottom. Higginbottom. Oh, yeah, that's him. Alan Beatty. So the Oklahoma Highway Patrol officer that pushed me out of the way at the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics and Dangerous Drugs and worked in the Oklahoma Bureau, and I got a bar complaint about that. And I'm being suspended for that too. The OBA, Oklahoma Bar Association, used Beatty, Highway Patrol officer, as security for a hearing in which he was a witness. Suing you, Alan. Oklahoma Highway Patrol, suing y'all. Hey, Oklahoma Fire Marshal, the ones that locked us all out and adopted regulations without a public hearing, all those things, suing you. Las Vegas Convention Center, John Doe's 1 and 2 security guards for the Las Vegas Convention Center that kicked me out and said that they were cops And for 2 days, they kept me out of the building until finally the Las Vegas Police Department came out there and said I had a right to be on the sidewalk because I showed them that it was public. I showed them that it was owned by a public trust authority. Yep. Suing them too. All because the bar complaint stuff is about all of that stuff. So it arises out of the bar complaint stuff. So I can bring it all in one federal case. So love it. Those who have been defaming me with lies, Anthony Smith, John Frazier, stole my camera equipment, thousands of dollars of camera equipment, refused to give it back. Yeah, free ride's over. Terry Lawrence and Wally Lawrence, Hive Staffing LLC, doing business as Chronic Docs, Honeycomb Holdings Investments LLC, stole a lot of money from me, stole a bunch of equipment from me, suing you too. People told me not to do business with you. I was an idiot. I should have listened to them. You're once a thief, always a thief, and they've both been to prison. Suing them. Heather Kirk Collins and Chad Collins that stole from me lots and lots of money and have been defaming me like I did something to them when I fired her ass. Yeah, right. Nope, not the way it works. Free ride's over. And last name, Kirk Glasgow, the bribe-seeking judge of the 14th Judicial District. That's it, folks. That's who I'm suing. 300 and whatever I said pages, 1,000 documents, probably 30 videos on a thumb drive. I'm going to put all of it up so you can read every single bit of it. Now look, there are going to be typos. There's going to be typos. Finding somebody to help you proofread a 300 and something page document is not the easiest thing in the world. And so I'm sure there's going to be some issues there. A few typos and things. Forgive me if there are. But anyway, that's what we're doing. That's what happened today. I was 12 minutes late to file today, but I'll file in the morning. And again, to end, the Oklahoma Bar Association won't even let me call myself as a rebuttal witness to their case against me. They filed the sealed documents and then told me if I want them, I got to file my own motion to get them and file a motion to protect them, even though I don't know what the freaking heck I'm supposed to be protecting. I've got a process server. Lori Hamilton is going to be my process server. She's meeting me at 9:30 in the morning, or excuse me, at 8:30 in the morning at the federal courthouse. She hadn't told me what she's going to charge me yet. She's given me a good deal before. I told her to be nice because I honestly the money dwindles every single solitary day. Rapido, muy rapido. And so she's going to do that. She's been great before. She's done all that stuff. Catfish for lunch? No. Tomorrow, oh, you know what? I think we could make No. Instead of catfish tomorrow, I'm going to hit up this place that has broasted chicken. And it's not like chicken that's your bro. It's broasted chicken is like this specially cooked and fried chicken that is done by this place in Arcadia, Oklahoma called the Chicken Shack. And it's muy bueno. That said, I'm about to go to a restaurant called The Sputter in Tulsa. And I'm about to go get myself what they call the Gusher. The Gusher is this ribeye, bone-in. I'm going to get it Pittsburgh style, medium, with a baked potato and all the fixings. They got this awesome potato soup. They got some great rolls. I'm going to treat myself at the Sputter in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So anyway, oh, and by the way, at the end of this lawsuit, I'm going to sign everything with this. And at the end of this lawsuit, contest to you folks. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that, because that's what I bought this for, the specific purpose of doing exactly that. Because again, I don't want to be signing legal pleadings. No, it's not a nudie pen. It's a Mont Blanc. Again, I wanted a nice pen. It's beautiful. I need to replace the ink cartridge, clearly. You need to replace the ink cartridge because it's gotten dry, it's sitting in here for so many months not being used. But we're gonna put it back in the case. We're gonna put it back in the box, and we are going to see you guys later. How much was the pen? I don't honestly remember. It was not cheap. It was not cheap. It had 3 zeros. Yeah, it was not cheap. So I'm gonna give the sucker away though. So y'all stay tuned for that. It's this certain special one. That's what it is, in case any of y'all care. But I'm gonna be giving it away. So stay tuned for that. If I can get my stolen equipment back from Anthony Smith and John Fraser as a result of this, I had to replace the camera equipment that they've stolen and refused to provide back to me, that I loaned them, and have clear text messages showing it as a loan. Now, Anthony, tried to say that I gave it and gave it to John Fraser and donated it to him, and he said that same lie. And then I sent them text messages where we clearly said, I'm loaning it to you and you're going to give it back to me. So that lie didn't work out too well for him. But when I get that camera equipment back, I'm going to give that away too. I'm going to give that away as well, because I want y'all to be out there doing the kind of things too and exposing this corruption. So anyway, what am I asking for in the lawsuit? Thank you. I will mention that. I'm sorry about the sound cutting out. People have called and stuff like that. So anyway, not highest bidder. I'm not selling it. I appreciate donations, but I'm not hot to a girl. I'm not going to be giving or selling you all things other like T-shirts or something. I ain't gonna have any meme coins or any of that stuff. I'm gonna give you that stuff. Now, as far as live streaming and teaching you all, look, every document that I file, I'm going to put online on Screw the OBA for free. Additionally, every legal document that I have created in my career, whether it be my leases, my operating agreements, bylaws, I've created thousands upon thousands of business documents over the course of 15-something years. Good ones. In fact, when my partners screwed me, one of the things that they demanded as part of the resolution was access to my go-by documents, because they wanted them so badly because they're idiots and couldn't do it themselves. I'm going to publish all of those. I'm going to put them all out there for you all for free. Every bit of it, I'm going to put out there so you can find it yourself. The open records lawsuits, open meeting lawsuits, etc. I'm going to put it all out there. I don't know why the audio is cutting out, folks. I have no idea. The documents will be available starting tomorrow on fucktheoba.com. Fuck, F-U-C-K, theoba.com. I'm filing in Tulsa, the Northern District of Oklahoma. Northern District of Oklahoma. Anyway, that's about all I got. I think it's time to eat. That's all to your lawsuit. I would definitely sign on to help. I can't represent you. I'm suspended. So you'd have to represent yourself pro se, which I've done before, and we're going to do that a lot with these open meetings and open record stuff. Me and a couple other people can team up, and we can be our own, driving force for change. Just because they take my license and have me suspended, I can bring all these cases on my own. I happen to look around and go, self, you're a citizen of the United States. You can bring all these claims. Oh, and you're also a citizen of the state of Oklahoma, and so you can bring all those claims. And you have a medical marijuana license for a business and a patient. Bought a business license just to be able to do this lawsuit. So I can bring all those claims too. Uh-oh. You can't suspend me from being pro se. So there you have it. Tony Sweet, everybody else, thank you so much for the super chats. If you want to send something to PayPal, look, it was we had a printer issue, and God bless, trying to print this many pages at a home printer is a bit of a nightmare. But we went to Office Depot today. They ended up giving me a deal, but it was still like $330-something to print all of the daggum pages that this was involved in. So what am I suing for? I'm suing for a whole boatload of money, all claims in excess of $2.5 million. Every one of these things I've said, I think is, I've sought $2.5 million or more. And I'm seeking declaratory and injunctive relief. Declaratory and injunctive relief, shutting down the Bar Association. Now, will I get $2.5 million? I don't know. What am I going to do with $2.5 million if I get it? I'm going to spend every penny holding these MFers in government accountable. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend every single solitary cent doing exactly that. That's what I'm going to do. You should have bought a printer and paper. I know, I have a printer and paper, but I was trying to get filed by 4:30, so I didn't have a choice. I was trying to meet my deadline, and so there it was. So anyway, how can I sue so many different people and so many different things? It's like one conspiracy. Yes, and also the Bar Association is taking my license for all of the things that I did related to these cases. So therefore, the facts are all tangentially related and arise out of, and that gives what's called supplemental federal court jurisdiction. Supplemental federal court jurisdiction. No, I've not sued on Potawatomi County. I've not sued on, I can't remember the name of that other county that wouldn't let me bring in the cameras and stuff to the courtroom. I've not sued for getting kicked out of the meeting in Pawhuska. There's a bunch of stuff that I got to get done, and I'm going to bring every single one of them. And frankly, most of the civil rights that I briefed about in this, I'm going to be able to copy and paste into the other one. So I did the work once, and I'll get to recycle this to hold all these other MFers accountable. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. So you all have a great evening. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate you all. Go eat some great dinner. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. As soon as I walk out of the federal building, I will let you know. And I'm not going to film. I want you to know, I've thought about this. I'm not going to film and protest their demand of an ID in the Northern District like they did today, because you don't want to poop where you eat. And I'm about to file this federal lawsuit in the Northern District, and I don't want to really start fighting with the Northern District right now. We'll go find another federal courthouse that has an ID requirement, and I'll take care of that there. But yes, that pissed me off beyond belief, them demanding my ID today to get into a building, and I'm definitely going to fight. I'm definitely going to fight it all. We're not standing back anymore. I'm done. I'm done. And you know what? I'm still pretty damn good at this. So with that said, stay safe out there. Peace out.